Okay, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to RanelliFit Project number 8. In today's video, we're talking about how many days a week you should be exercising. And it's funny because just like the other knowledge projects, this knowledge project is no different because we're going to be going over today what it is, why it's important, and the extra steps you can take. But the really interesting thing I found about this knowledge project, just like with the other ones, is we're in it for the long term. So in today's video, exercising, when I say how many days a week you should exercise, take away the days part and think more about weeks or think more about in minutes, because we're always in it for the long term. Because no, you do not have to be insanely intensely exercising every single week to see the results you want. And in today's video, we're going to break it down. So first of all, what is it, or what is this when we talk about exercise? And all I want you guys to think about when I say exercise is think about how you're distributing that word movements daily. So that could be walking, that could be running, that could be sprinting, that could be lifting, that could be swimming, that could be cycling, that could be something in the form of movement daily, kind of similar with our step video. And we're going to break down exercise today in two ways. And this is the conversation you and I have had for a while now to make things super simple. Is there's aerobic capacity, think like walking, running, cardio based, and then there's anaerobic capacity, which is more like sprinting, more like lifting. But when we talk about exercise today, we're focused on aerobic and we're focused on anaerobic. Again, aerobic is more cardiovascular, like walking, running, while anaerobic is more like lifting or like a full-on sprint for a very short burst. And what does this all mean in simple terms? And what I want you guys to get after this video or get out of from this video is just you should be able to understand how to move regularly, how to help your body with recovery, and also how to create a routine that fits your needs. We're going to go over into why that's important in a minute here, but those are the few big takeaways I want you to take from this video. And the reason why I want you to care today is because in the form of exercise, it is so easy for us as human beings, I feel like, to fall into like the complex, things of like, the 6 minute six pack or, the 90-minute, HIIT exercise or this or that or whatever. But in today's video, the reason why you should care is because we're trying to, as always, eliminate complexity. And once you understand how you, and I mean this as how you should exercise individually, it's going to at least help you do it for the long term, and also hopefully will help prevent you from doing anything improperly. So let's dive in. So why is this so important in terms of how many days a week you should exercise? And the reason why it's important is because, I'm going to repeat myself, it solves the problem of always having to start over. If you remember, we had a conversation a few weeks ago about like nutrition and protein and how it's always important to understand how your body takes in protein and takes in nutrients. It's no different with exercise. For example, someone like myself who's a shorter athlete, I'm 5'5", 150 pounds. My form of exercise might be different from, let's say, your form of exercise, because if I'm outputting energy, that might feel much different for me versus someone like you if you're taller or shorter than me. So the problem this solves is that it's going to prevent you, hopefully, from starting over, and it's also going to prevent you from not knowing what to do. We're going to go over more detail in the third section later on. The benefits of this video today is you're going to know what to do, right? So that's really cool. So it's important because we're going to know exactly what not to do, which means we're going to know exactly what to do. And that, I think, is a huge win for us because have you ever like gone to the gym or, gone on a walk or whatever, and you're like, okay, well, how long, how far, how much weight, what should I do? Where do I go in terms of the gym, or like when you're walking, what am I doing? This video is important because we're going to solve that for you today, and we're going to figure out together how to figure out what is best specifically for you. And then also the reason why that's important, because once you guys figure out how many days a week you should be exercising, you're going to have hopefully better weight loss. You're going to have better heart health. You're going to feel better. You're going to have more energy. If you decide to lift, you're going to have more muscle mass, so on and so forth. And if you ignore this, you may just fall into that trap. And I feel like this happens to a lot of people, that you're going to be like, oh, this is my year, new me. And then 3 weeks later, you're back to the same old routine. Or how many times have you told yourself, okay, I'm going to get into that weight training routine. I'm going to get into that cardiovascular routine. And then you kind of fall short. this video again today is going to solve that for you. But again, let's just kind of recap real quick so we can get to the big meat here today of like what are the action steps we can take to solve this. So in terms of exercise, all I want you guys thinking of here of exercise is just think about how we're distributing movements throughout the week. Remember, there's aerobic, there's anaerobic. You can do cycling, you can do walking, you can do lifting, you can do running, anything that fits your specific needs. And the reason why this is so important because this is going to prevent us from starting over, and this is also going to help us to know exactly what to do and how to do it, and so on and so forth. And again, it's very easy to fall into the trap of, oh, I'm going to restart, and we want to solve that. So, okay, enough of the talk about, hopefully you guys understand what we're talking about. We understand why it's important. So what are the action steps you can take? First of all, how many days should you exercise a week? Remember, take away the days. It should be between 75 minutes to 150 minutes of moderate activity for adults, or 150 minutes and 300 minutes of activity for adults as well. And then forgive me, guys, because actually I flipped that. It should be 150 minutes to 300 minutes of moderate activity for adults, or 75 minutes to 150 minutes of vigorous activity for adults. And the way I take that action step, guys, is just find something you can do, not daily. Think weekly, monthly, and yearly, but let's make it simple. Let's just focus on the weekly. Think of something weekly you can do for 75 to 150 minutes. And this is why it goes back to why it's important. For exercising daily, once you're like, okay, well, I now know for exercising daily or exercising how many days a week I should exercise, I know it should be between 75 to 150 minutes weekly. And typically you want to have, let's say, 3, 4, 5 sessions. Break it up any way you want to, but in those 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 sessions, there should be a lot of aerobic. Remember, that's walking. That could be running. That could be cycling. It also should be anaerobic too, and that should be lifting as well. So really simply, guys, for the action step you should take, it should be 75 minutes to 150 minutes weekly. I would really mainly focus on the 150-minute part if you're of health. Obviously, do your due diligence, and also too, pick a routine that's specific to you. For example, someone like myself, I am huge in weight training. I weight train almost every day, except Sundays. I try to do like a bit of an active recovery day there, but I try to weight train almost every day. And the reason why is because I love it. So action step is pick something that you enjoy, whether it's cardio or lifting. Pick something also too that you can do for 75 minutes to 150 minutes weekly, and that you can do for the long term. Because again, your exercises should be specific to you too. And I want to make sure I really emphasize this before we wrap up the knowledge project today, is also be sure you understand the importance of weightlifting. As a personal trainer, I see so many people, and I love it. You want to lose weight, you want to get healthy, you want to get fit, you want to get strong, but you automatically think caloric deficit and cardio, and more cardio. Cardio is a great thing for your heart health, but it doesn't do much for your muscles, and for the long term, to prevent osteoporosis, to help out with energy, to help out with more of a calorie burn, to help out with energy and balance later on in life, I highly stress that you at least work out twice a week, resistance training wise, because the studies do show, and I'll be sure to leave my sources down below, that you should be at least lifting 2 times a week on top of your workout plan if it is aerobic. So again, in today's video, we just went over how many days a week you should exercise. How many days a week should you exercise? I want you guys to take out the word days and put in minutes. Think, how many minutes a week should I exercise? That should be the big question. The answer is 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous activity for adults, or 150 minutes to 300 minutes of more moderate exercise for adults. Very simply put, try to do something, guys, you can do for 150 minutes a week to get your body moving, to get your body rolling. Again, cardio is important. Be sure it's specific to you, but lifting is just as important as cardio too. And again, most health experts out there, from the sources I read, say that you should at least lift twice a week, and it should be full body. Be sure to stress that. And again, make sure that these exercises that you guys are doing are safe. Please be sure to do your due diligence, and make sure you understand, okay, if I'm doing, let's say, like a single leg squat, or a barbell squat, or a barbell bench, or a dumbbell incline bench, or a split lunge, or reverse lunge, whatever you want to do, make sure the exercises you are doing are specific to your needs. And also, again, make sure you're enjoying what you're doing. I think I feel like it's so easy to be like, okay, I'm gonna grind through it right now to kind of get that end result. When in reality, if you grind through your workouts and you're not enjoying it, are you gonna really do it for the long term? I'll leave you to decide that. But again, guys, I hope today's video was somewhat insightful. The big takeaway about today is just work out 75 to 150 minutes weekly. Get cardio in if you can within that time frame of 75 to 150 minutes weekly, and be sure to resistance train at least twice a week, full body as well, within that threshold. You obviously can exceed 150 minutes if you would like to. But again, make sure you do diligence, talk to your doctor if you need to, but make sure you are safe doing it. And if you're watching this video and you're like, Rob, I have no idea where to start or no idea what to do, that's my job. I'm a personal trainer here in the Bucks County area, in New Hope, Pennsylvania, and also Newtown, PA, and the surrounding areas. If you need me, I'm going to leave my contact information down below, my website down below, my personal training app free trial down below. I am fully booked up in person. I have no in-person slots, so I'll put my wait lists down below. And I also have a blog on everything I research for you, because I want you to lead a healthy, strong, active life. And I also want fitness to be really simple. But hopefully, again, today's video was insightful. Just one last recap here. What is it? Think about, guys, in terms of how many days a week you should exercise weekly. Just think that all that simply means is just how are we distributing the movements throughout the week. It's important because we want to prevent that constant, consistent drawback where you start and then you stop and you start and you stop. Make sure, for the important part here, that it's something you can do consistently for the long term, and it's something that you like. And the third thing is, remember, 75 to 150 minutes weekly, things that you can do for the long term. And again, it can be walking, cycling, running, jogging, same thing as running. It could also mean, lifting weights 2, 3, 4 times a week, whatever you want to do. But be sure to take that action step and get yourself active and get yourself out there. This is RanelliFit Knowledge Project number 8, about how many days a week you should be exercising. I hope this was somewhat insightful for you. If you guys like the work that I'm doing here and you want to support me, and just, hopefully your friends, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share it with somebody that you think should be exercising or needs to get exercise. And I'm going to keep doing this every week, and hopefully somebody out there, and hopefully you are getting a lot of information, because you and I are going to be talking every single week more about fitness. And all I want to do is make fitness extremely simple. That way you can hit your goals. Again, this is RanelliFit Knowledge Project number 8, and I will see you guys, I will see you next week with another video. Have a great week, and thank you so much for your support. And again, please be sure to share this video with a friend. Thank you, and hope you have a great day.